Hello there, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about Femme Fatale, which is a Brian DePalma film from like the 2000s, 2002 I think it was released. It was made right after Mission to Mars, which was this big bomb for Disney that kind of killed his American career. See my video on it, I did a video on Mission to Mars a while ago. This one was his first one he made to France at this point, and he's kept his career in Europe since then, really, since this film. I mean, he's done a couple of films with American backing, but a lot of it's been made in France, so there's been cooperation with France, so a lot of it is, he's become like a European director recently. This is the first one. This is like probably his best one of this period. It's just a beautiful film. It's set, it's sort of like a dream. The thing about this film is it's a dream logic to it. It's not usual. The idea is it's a heist movie where after the heist, everyone's trying to get the diamonds that were heisted in the first sequence, and it's about how that all shakes out. That's the kind of basic setup, but it's really a dream logic film. Nothing is done in a way that cares that much about reality. Like the first sequence, the heist sequence isn't your normal heist sequence. It's set during the Cannes Film Festival, during the premiere of East West. So during the premiere, the director's girlfriend is wearing this costume with lots of diamonds in it. And the idea they're going to steal the diamonds from this thing because it's worth millions. So the idea is the lead character, who's a femme fatale, was going to seduce this woman, take her to the bathroom, seduce her and switch the costume round, so there's a duplicate and no one will see that they've stolen anything. Of course that all goes wrong, and basically she escapes, but her co-conspirators are caught and go to jail. And then basically she goes, this is kind of complicated, this is almost like talking about an Asian film plot, but how complicated it can get. Next thing happens is she meets with the person she's seduced, who turns out to be her girlfriend, is going to get a new passport. At that point she gets attacked by someone who was also in the gang. She's almost killed, but she's found by someone who thinks she's someone else because it's a lookalike. This person's going to be a suicide, and she steals this person's identity. And then all these other things ensue. Now, from here on in, spoiler warnings, because it's impossible to talk about this film without spoilers, because this film is insane. This is wonderful, it's completely nuts though. The thing is, it might be a dream, it might not be a dream. At a certain point where she sees that a woman coming in is going to commit suicide, and when she steals identity, from the point where she sees a woman come into the house, it could all be a dream. She might have fallen asleep in a bathtub and is dreaming all this. Because all the characters that she's seen in the first bit of the movie, sometimes in passing, all the actors, and then they appear later on, as if they're subconscious. The clocks don't move, so the clock's always at 2:45 or something like that. There's lots of images of water being poured because she was in a bath and she's apparently fell asleep. And there's all this kind of dream logic, and throughout the story, throughout this middle section of the story, there is a plot, but there's a kind of twisty logic to it all. And then later on within the movie, when she comes back out of the dream and she had to say what she's going to do, there's also a kind of dream logic to it. Nothing's ever that realistic. For instance, right, the first section, the actual heist section, is about lesbian seduction in a film festival, which is highly unrealistic, right, for a heist movie. And a whole section where there's doubles, there's lookalikes, there's people who are up to no good. All of it has a very dream logic to it. It's very fantastical the way it's shot. Like the first sequence is set to a bolero, and the camera's always moving, and it's always very seductive, and nothing quite links in with reality. It's all very dreamy. Like a lot of the shots, when you see it from her point of view, everything's shot as if it's like a fairy story. There's a dream logic to everything. Everything's floating along as if it's always been a dream. So even when you get the what is meant to be reality, it feels like a dream. Then we go to the dream sequence, it feels more realistic the way it's shot. The way it's shot is much more locked down, as if it's a premonition or it's a dream or whatever it is. It feels more realistic because you also switch characters. You switch to Antonio Banderas' point of view, which is a guy who's ex-paparazzi, he's an artist. He's trying to do this project, but he's running out of money, so you see this photograph. And through this section, his life becomes a nightmare because he gets basically set up by the Femme Fatale to be the patsy so she can steal money from her husband, who's the American ambassador, and she's trying to escape because she knows basically the people she ripped off in the first section of the movie are after her. Now, as the dream sequence, I mean, there is a dream logic to it, but also it's shot and plotted more like a normal movie. And then we go back into the non-dream sequence at the end, it's shot as if it's a dream sequence, as if it's not quite reality, but it's very fantastical. So even though the plot's telling you one thing, the way it's shot is telling you something different, and there's no actual reality, non-reality, everything's kind of up for grabs. This is one of the film. I mean, even though you've got a handle on what's meant to be dream, what's meant to be false, even the dream sequence could be a premonition of the future that she's getting into her head, so she knows to avoid doing that because it's going to lead to tragedy. But you're never quite sure. It doesn't click in as something that's set in stone. Like everything's intentionally more dreamlike in the realistic sequences. And all the characters evolve in interesting ways, but there's still a bit of stock to them. Like Antonio Banderas, he's an artist. I mean, he's a very stock character. It does evolve. He's a bit more street smart than he initially appears, but he's still a character in a nightmare. He's in this nightmare scenario where he's a patsy. The Femme Fatale can do all these things. It's very seductive, but she's still an evil, selfish bitch at the end of the day. And that's what's fun about her. That's what the movie celebrates. She's on her own, she's doing what she likes to do. She's upfront what she is. Like, being nice bores her. She's not nice. She never tends to be nice. She's never going to suggest she's nice. If people think she's nice, that's their problem, not hers. So there is that problem for the other characters who she's getting run over on. So the characters are realistic, but they're kind of movie archetypes, but given life by actors, put it in a dream logic that's sometimes very dreamlike, sometimes not. But even if this is a dream, it might not be a dream. So it's wonderful. I mean, basically this is the film that Inception wishes it was. And Inception came out like 7 years after this one, I think, or 8 years. And I did the whole dream thing. You're in a dream or you're not in a dream. I don't think I did as well as this. This one was more fun. This one was winking the audience without winking overtly. This one didn't need big action scenes. It was all about how the light hits against a wall, how the camera floats from one bit to the next, one sequence to the next, how the Eiffel Tower is lit in the background. It creates this dreamlike feel to it, but it might not be. And yeah, it's in Paris the same way as Inception. There's no, man, you always wonder, they must have seen this film for Inception. They must have. I mean, it's in Paris, for God's sake. It's the same city it takes place in for a lot of it. And it's all about dreams and how you're not quite sure. And there's tragedy. There's people with characters who have lost loved ones. And they're trying to survive it. And this one is doppelgangers, was very DePalma-ish. The whole thing is you have people seeing their double, and it's shot as if it's a dream. It's shot with dream logic, but it might be taking place in real life. It's just a way your mind goes when you're dreaming where not some things don't quite make sense, but they make some emotional sense. That whole film's like that, everything makes emotional sense. And the plot's set up so that it's about the emotional sense. The plot doesn't matter. So even when we're in the real world doesn't really work like the real world. I hope all this makes sense. It's a bizarre, beautiful film. I mean, it's one of DePalma's best films because he's just having so much fun with it. He's really enjoying himself away from the big studios, away from the pressures of making a big budget movie. He's just enjoying himself, low budget, bunch of character actors, just let them rip, let the camera move where he wants to move, and have all these sequences come together in interesting ways. I haven't described much of the sequences because it's better to enjoy it on your own. It's better to see it on your own because it's wonderful how they all come together in interesting ways, how things evolve, how shots evolve, how what Antonio Banderas' project is tied to the plot, but isn't. But it creates this whole atmosphere that brings everything together in a way, and also doesn't in a way. It's like it's real art to the film, but it's very complicated. So I hope you enjoyed this. This is the third one. I'm going to do 7 De Palma films before Christmas. So I've done 3, so there's 4 more to do. And so I hope you enjoyed this. Next one, I'm going to do Tokyo Drifter. Next week I'm going to come back and do more of the Alan Clark series. I just wanted to take a break and finish watching the ones I'm going to do. And then I'll be back with them next week. So, hope you're enjoying this. We're back soon.